But just so everyone has enough time, we're going to go on to the next project. I believe it is Mint Twins with Collectorz Club. How are you doing, Mint Twins?
Good. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for sharing that hammer. That was some interesting stuff there. Nice to see you over there sharing about your project and not hosting. But yeah, I'm with Collectorz Club, as well as Collectorz King is on here. He is the founder of Collectorz Club. But yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having us on.
Of course. We love hearing from monkeys that are building. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your monkey story, how you got into MonkeDAO, and then go into what you guys are building?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been in MonkeDAO since early December. And honestly, like my monkey story has a lot of correlations with Collectorz Club. Right, or like same week, one of my buddies, Nucci, who is a fellow monkey baby business bus driver, had kind of found Collectorz Club, and it was pre-mint in December, and was like, "Hey, man, I think we got to check this out. It's a really interesting concept and idea." And it seems like, basically he had already reached out to Collectorz King and was kind of talking to him and just shooting back and forth some ideas. So by the time the mint came around in January, we weren't like on the team or anything like that, but we were just like, "Hey, we're here. We're happy to advise you. We think you guys got a lot of potential." And, we had some experience, and just being a monkey, honestly, kind of afforded us the opportunity to have those conversations. So, it's probably the biggest benefit for me personally that I've ever had from MonkeDAO is connecting with Collectorz King and kind of getting involved with him and what they're doing. And as a big sports fan myself, the mixture of Web3 and sports and collecting, I was like, "Man, this sounds awesome. I at least got to check this out and see what's going on." So that's kind of how we got involved there. And from there, the relationship grew, tons of phone calls, and just getting more and more involved. And then we actually ended up joining the Collectorz team back in May. And that was shortly before Collectorz Club actually came under the Visionary Studios umbrella officially in June. We got some exciting stuff we're going to do with them down the road, but we're kind of still working through that, and love to share that with you guys later. But yeah, that's and also for both collections, Gen Zero, which minted for 0.44 Sol back in January 4th. Bear, another fellow monkey, has handled both of our launches for us flawlessly. And so yeah, that's kind of the backstory for how MonkeDAO kind of led me to Collectorz Club in the first place, and kind of where we're at now.
I love that story. You often hear examples of people's monkey profile pictures giving them a little extra credibility so that they can get into the room to have the right conversations with people. It sounds like that's your story as well.
Yeah, absolutely, for better or worse.
So
definitely glad for the opportunity to connect with Shane at our Collectorz King, and he's, as the founder, he's the guy with the vision. I mean, he's the guy that attracted me to it in the first place. Definitely just has a ton of awesome ideas and stuff, and I think it'd be good for us to kind of talk to him directly and hear kind of his story too.
Sure. Yeah. Well, whoever wants to hop up and talk about the project, but I think we're all very curious to hear what was so attractive to you and what Collectorz Club is all about. I imagine there are others in the audience like me who actually don't know.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, the whole idea is just bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. We have a lot of physical collectors, like hardcore card collectors, Pokemon, sports cards and everything. And Cardsaway Sports, which is the IRL business that backs Collectorz Club, is a company that Collectorz King and his family had kind of started. They multi-million-dollar revenue card business. So that's kind of where that started, and I'll let Collectorz King take it from there on more of the details.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate first of all, I just want to thank you guys for having us up, and just to kind of piggyback off what Mint Twins is talking about, and how they sought out working with us, and me seeing that they were a part of MonkeDAO, obviously did give them that extra push for me to take them seriously as they inquired about wanting to help out and wanting to help me push it forward. So I can definitely say that, like, not to be like, oh, that's the reason why, but that, obviously you guys know it's a lot of first impression. So when you meet people in the Web3 space, it's similar to having that like first impression on somebody. So, having that monkey that kind of put that stamp of approval of like, hey, they are willing to, put skin in the game and understand that, it takes a lot, to learn in this space to help, to start helping people. So, that kind of helped me understand that, hey, these are kind of guys who know what they're talking about and they can help me take this to the next level. So yeah, just to piggyback off of that, we started as a in real life business, Cardsaway Sports, and through that, in my experience in Solana, as I started in August, I started to see a lot of synergies between collecting, sports cards or any collectibles, whether it be sneakers or comics or video games or anything, and collecting NFTs digitally through minting. Like when I minted the first time, I was like, wow, this is really like opening a pack of like Pokemon or sports cards, and so it really kind of like sparked that, interest in, hey, what if I brought, benefits to what we're doing with traditional collecting into the NFT game. So I wanted to do that through Solana for many reasons, but once we got into it with our Gen Zero collection, like you said, dating back to January 4th, 2022, the first thing and foremost thing was to onboard these traditional collectors into the Solana ecosystem, right? So we started by sending out to our email list of all of our current customers and getting in touch with everybody that we knew in the traditional collecting world to get involved into NFTs. And through that, we brought on a lot of people who hadn't collected an NFT ever before, that they joined the Solana ecosystem, and now they're here and they're, buying a bunch of other different collections. So it was great to, start by onboarding these people who, whether we like it or not, we all have that, collector's mindset when we're buying NFTs, or if we're going for rarities, or if we're going for, limited edition things, whether it be one-on-one art and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of similarities in that mindset. So to bring these people who are, legitimate collectors and have been doing it in a traditional style, I think it was really important to bring legitimate people to the Solana ecosystem, especially, back then. It's still bad with rugs and stuff like that, but we hit a time where like it's almost felt like everything was a rug. So I was happy to try to bring, quality people into this whole ecosystem that are really here to invest in and collect more so than anything. So then once we identified that, we kind of did the reverse thing of, bridging the gap, and we wanted to find people who were already in the Solana ecosystem that maybe were former collectors. Maybe they used to collect Pokemon cards, or maybe they still do, or they love sports and they're into sports collecting or sports memorabilia, whatever it may be. We identified those people next. So then through that, we started really focusing on creating this community and integrating both sides of the bridge, right? And both sides, and really teaching the people who didn't know about NFTs, and teaching those people who didn't know much about sports cards or Pokemon cards, and really vice versa. And it created this amazing community of like a family, like wanting to help one another out. Like, really, like, people can come into our community, just ask a question, whether they hold a Collectorz Club NFT or not. Like, it's this place where you really can grow knowledge by just popping in and asking a few questions. And we have so many people who are like really glad to do that. So really focused on that community aspect that I think's really benefited us and kind of carried us through. Obviously, we wanted to incorporate benefits and utility through our in real life business. So we do monthly gift cards, we do daily giveaways of physical items like Pokemon packs of cards. Like, people have gotten a pack of cards and a free giveaway and opened it up and got, an autographed card with like $4,000. So we do create these, benefits and utility through our in real life business. And this was with our Gen Zero collection. And like Mint Twin said, we minted at 0.44 Sol, and I believe our floor is sitting right at like around 10 Sol right now for our Gen Zero collection. So that was really how we started, and that carried us all the way until recently, August 4th. We had our Gen 1 mint, which sold out in under 15 minutes, which was amazing considering like the market conditions. We were a little nervous about, whether it was going to be as much of a success as we believed it to be. But through that, like Gen 1 is now allowing us to like really take the next step forward into Web 3 and kind of not necessarily leave behind Web 2, but continue to like bridge that gap, but more heavily on the Web 3 end, and continue to onboard people more to Web 3. So through doing so, we started the Collector Zone, which is our staking platform and marketplace, where it allows you to stake your NFTs, a very, kind of basic utility model that we're seeing with Solana NFTs. But what we wanted to do different is we wanted to create a marketplace within this same website or program. And with that, you can earn your club and redeem it for physical and digital collectibles. So for example, you are staking your, let's say you got 2 Gen 0s that are yielding 5 club a day. Over a month or two, you'll be able to buy a PSA graded Pokemon card, worth essentially what you paid for some of those NFTs, right? Or if you want to go for a lower price, like a pack of Pokemon cards where, you're kind of taking the risk on, you don't know what's going to be inside of it, but you want to have the entertainment experience. We offer that, but then we also offer digital collectibles like one-of-one art. We recently put up a piece by DJ Poet, which was kind of in the wheelhouse of what we're doing. It was a Charmander piece that we purchased and put it up there. So really allowing people to hold their NFTs to allow them to get other collectibles on top of the ones that they're collecting through us. So that's Collector Zone. And all of these platforms that we're creating, it's like we're obviously trying to create this business model where it's like we're not using our mint proceeds and our royalties solely to generate revenue for our DAO. So it's important for us to set up all of these platforms that I'm kind of taking you guys through. Keep in mind, like each of these platforms is creating a percentage of revenue for our DAO as well. So the next thing is CGS, which you guys can see pinned up on the spaces here, which is we're taking the digital NFTs that we all love and we're turning them into physical collectibles through creating custom trading cards with them and then slabbing them in graded cases so that they can't be damaged and so that you can keep them in perfect condition for as long as you want to hold that. So kind of, like I said, bridging that gap, providing things in this whole ecosystem that are in the collectibles world, like whatever there is there to do in the collectibles world, we're trying to bring that to the Solana ecosystem. So you guys can kind of take a look at that video. We recently, before launching, we're planning on launching in October, and we already have made a partnership with Monkey Baby Business to provide one-on-one slabs for all of their MBB Super one-on-one exclusives. So that's awesome that we're already seeing that like collections are seeing how they can benefit, by providing this for their holders, just as much as somebody might be like, hey, I want an NFT for myself. We're seeing developers and founders or community managers be like, yo, this would be really cool for us to offer for, people who hold X amount of NFTs of our collection or whatever. Just, cool ways to continue to have people get involved from a collecting standpoint. So that's another thing that we're working on. One other thing I would like to touch on is NFT Breaks. And that's a platform that we're currently in works with Visionary Studios, who we're now under as a partner officially. And that is essentially going to be bringing that whole pack ripping experience to Solana NFTs. And really, you kind of, I don't know if any of you guys are into NBA Top Shot or anything like that, but that's kind of a good model to look at it. But the way that we see minting right now, it's like really cool. And I think it's an awesome way to see it as like that similarity to opening cards or whatever. But we feel as though that we can take this further and make this collecting experience even more visual and more exciting from a collecting standpoint when you're minting, or even if you're not necessarily minting, we're exploring options for people to be able to even create repacks, in the sense where you could take a group of 10 of your own NFTs, create your own pack, and then sell spots for those packs. So different ideas like that. Like I said, just continuing to try to fuse collecting with digital and physical collecting, and kind of just make it this all-in-one thing where it's not even really seen as digital and physical anymore. It's all just collecting, So that's what Collectorz Club is. And we got a team of people who are employees of our business, and we're working our ass off to just continue to bring legitimacy to the Solana ecosystem, honestly.
It's all a lot of fun. I mean, it's pretty sprawling, and if it wasn't for the fact that we're already running a successful collectibles business outside of NFTs, I think I'd have a lot of doubts. But I think this is one of those examples where, your business acumen and experience has really allowed you to develop something that is pretty Web3 native, but is also, revenue generating, which is pretty rare. That's not something you get a lot from most NFT projects, but is revenue generating, and you're able to share those benefits with your community. So congratulations. I think this makes a lot of sense. And I for one, as a collector of various gizmos and gadgets over my lifetime, totally get the sense that NFTs are just a continuation of that impulse, right? And I like what you're doing with the pack ripping experience as well. I think recently we've kind of lost that. Minting has become pretty boring now. Like, you get an unrevealed NFT, you don't get to post it in the Discord and show everyone what you got and like show off a little bit. Like, you just got to sit around for 24 hours and wait for it to unreveal itself, and then the floor drops. It's not exciting anymore. I remember back in the days when I minted like Solarians, you know, that minting process kind of sucked because it was expensive, but like it was cool because there was like a machine and you would like put your Solana in it and then it would like animate a little bit and then your NFT would appear on the screen. Those were the good days. And I grateful that you're trying to bring back some of the fun to the minting experience.
Hell yeah, because I agree with you fully. That was my first experience with minting. Back in I think it was late August, early September of 2021 when I joined, and it just seemed as though it was that instant reveal, and it was that hype of it being once it was sold out and everybody sharing what they got. It reminded
Yeah.
me of you're at the card shop ripping some cards, like seeing what other people are getting and stuff like that. So absolutely, want to continue to make this an entertainment experience as well. Like we really want to bring entertainment to collecting NFTs in general.
Yeah, agreed. And you know what? It's not just entertainment. I think that, that impulse when you're able to instantly see what you got, and maybe there was a trait that you like really wanted, or if like you're ripping open a Pokemon card pack and it's like you really wanted a foil card or a holo, and you don't get one, what's your first impulse? I'm going to go back and buy another one of these packs of cards, right? And so I think this actually helps, project creators in the future who use this type of technology to it helps them sell out because it continues to puts people into that positive feedback loop where if they didn't get what they were hoping for, they mint another, they turn the crank again, they rip open another pack. So good for you guys.
I really love that outlook. I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we were really excited to follow up Girl in the Red Cape last week too. Just like I said, being under Visionary's umbrella, like they're clearly trying to make waves in Web3 and board new people that might not have been interested or heard of Solana. But that's why we feel like there's so much synergy between us and them. Is just we're both trying to board new people to the ecosystem and have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, I just want to hop in and add. I mean, I love this pin tweet, the slabs that you guys are doing of the Monkey Baby Business NFTs. I think those are sick. Like, I would 100% get one of those for definitely my SMB, but probably a few other NFTs as well. And we did have Visionary Studios on, I believe it was last week. So I wanted to hear a little bit more about how that partnership's working. I know that they do have an upcoming mint, and they have an awesome team behind them as well. And so, what was the motivation for partnering with them specifically, and then how have they been helping you guys out build out your products?
Yeah. So originally, so Mint Twins and Nucci, who are our two advisors of our collection, both MonkeDAO members. They also have great relationships with Jago and his team over at Visionary Studios, and with what they were creating over there, it was really just a matter of them kind of presenting, hey, I think this would be a really cool partnership. Like we should look into exploring this. So then on our end, we kind of, developed somewhat of a little pitch to send over to Visionary. They took a look at it and they were like, this makes complete sense. We're both trying to bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. And for them, I think they're trying to do it in a bunch of different verticals. And they saw that we could kind of cover that sports and collectibles vertical for them. So with that being said, once we did make the partnership, as far as like what the relationship's been and what we've been doing to like help one another, I would say that like where they've been before we like get too far into like what we're like working on together, because we are working on a project that we feel as though is going to be pretty big for the ecosystem, kind of regarding that pack opening experience. But just in the meantime, in the immediate, since we've partnered with them in like late June, they really just helped bring eyes to our project, to the people who needed to find our project. Like for us, we were kind of struggling with, our people not seeing our project, or are people just not interested in what we're providing? Well, Visionary Studios really solidified that it wasn't a matter of people not being interested, it was the eyeballs getting on it. So they came up with a lot of different creative marketing strategies for us to get eyes on our project, that ultimately resulted in us having a more successful mint process than we would have ever imagined. Honestly, like we talked about those old mints like back in late 2021 and stuff like that, where it was like a fun experience. Like, well, we were lucky enough to have that experience where literally this was a flawless, smooth mint that minted out, I think, in like 12 or 13 minutes. And it was just, one after another, going. And we can honestly say that we don't feel as though we would have necessarily had that attention to be as successful as we've been, right? So now that they've brought the eyes to us, and now they're kind of helping out on the back end of really helping us find the right developers, finding the right teams to work on these projects, taking our ideas, vetting them. For example, we just had our marketplace collector zone drop. Well, they're the people to make sure, like, hey, did you make sure everything was secure with the back end and all the tech that was built behind it? So they're really just bringing that extra level of experience for us. And as a team with themselves, I believe they have 6 people behind the project. It really just helps us, being a part of their team as an extension. We have access to all of those team members and they get to help us with our project. So it immediately grows our team as well, to have those resources under them. And really for us, as far as like sharing compensation of revenue and stuff like that, they're just getting a part of royalties, and it was a very flawless experience for us. They didn't ask for anything up front from us. Everything we do is benefiting mutually moving forward and what we build for the future. So that's kind of just a little rundown on our partnership with Visionary.
That's awesome. I definitely agree with them that it wasn't necessarily that you guys don't have anything to offer. It's more just you need more eyes on the project, because I'm surprised I haven't heard of you guys before, this space is, because, everything that you guys have been offering, the success of your projects and collections is really incredible. I do want to make sure that the last project has enough time. I think we might go over an hour a little bit just to be sure. Do you have any closing out statements, any shout outs you want to do?
Definitely shout out to Visionary Studios, Jago, Mint Twins, Nucci, the whole community, and MonkeDAO for bringing us up here. Can't thank you guys enough for the platform.
Of course. We always appreciate having monkeys up. Mint Twins, anything you want to add?
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like we've been working with Oldak and B-Merv and some of the other guild members, and it's just been, they're all monkeys, and it's just been a pleasure to work with them and kind of connect deeper in the space, and appreciate the time.